I'd imagine that they pick into the CT half, and I'd imagine that they go towards that defensive side, and they'd have to get probably a similar scoreline as what we saw over in the last map for me to believe that there's any way back in, just because of the fact that it would be the complete role reversal, right? To go from a 13-2 down to like a 12-3 or 11-4 up, but at least be something composable for this Outsiders side. But I have to be honest, Dwayne, I've lost my faith in the Outsiders following that first map. I'm hoping for the sake of competitive nature that it would still be a close, and it would still at least be dragged out close to a 3-map turnaround, but I just don't believe it can happen, and I believe the G2 will be in prime position to take this series in 2-0 and go 5-0 rather, I should say, in the group stage here for the ESL Pro League. Pistol round, seeing the USPs and Glocks brought out quick in from the T's already.
Very fast. Get that smoke down towards the city spawn area. Split your way through from main and from that donut contact. Fame's hearing a lot of those footsteps, but doesn't want to get aggressive. They're going to hunt him down anyway. The USP trying to come out with a few kills for Fame.
Well, that's a bit more like it already. He was very low on his numbers. I think he scored like 3 by the end of that last map up. 5 on 3 instead for the Outsiders. Fame going to make it a triple, in fact. All right. This is really going now. Defensive might not have been able to hold on the bomb site itself, denying that bomb plant, but they can go back for the smoke and the ninja defuse. Qikert's tagged to 4 HP though, so there might be a bit of concern. They've got to body block him desperately so. Flit engaging upon. Kill found for NiKo, but Norbert gets them both and holds down the line. Gets an all-important pistol for the Outsiders.
Lovely stuff coming through from Fame. That defensive hold on the back foot, playing around that temple position, just getting away with so much damage, and then being the real force forward onto that retake, putting pressure down to that donut angle. And Outsiders allow themselves to get the first round up on the city side. G2 managed a few kills and at least a bomb plant. Don't opt to go up for the force. Oh, it's actually a very late one. Now, one thing I will say that they have achieved so far here in the group stage is one of the highest round 2 breaks out of any team.
And considering what they've done against Outsiders, it wouldn't surprise me if they broke this round all the same. Rifles on 3 individuals, AK for Munacy. The Galils on JKS and Hunter. Missing from NiKo's part. Hooksy, however, appropriately taking the deagle. The Outsiders have their defensive line held. 2-1-2 split.
You've got to think here for G2, similar to that last round, going in for the A site exit. Having a lot of players right now outside of this A main position. Think about Smokey off Donut, Smokey off CT, trying to take some of that temple control as well. And for Outsiders, with both players being back towards this A play, you've got to imagine that the rifles are going to do quite well in the long-range engagements.
Smokes that are ready for NiKo. Set them up towards the A site execution. Got one man back at temple, one back at boxes, one player missing from the defensive at the donut position, which is where that smoke will go down to. So might cut some rotations in the mid control. They line up for Fame though, who almost makes it a quadra and at least holds the defensive from its initial contact. The anchor on the site, and well, anchored his way into what should be a second round for the Outsiders.
Lovely stuff from Fame, being one of the highlight entities for Outsiders in the last few times that they've played this map of Ancient. And James even getting himself involved into the mix. And Hunter, that lurk that was out there towards mid, has now been able to walk into an A site without any teammates. 1v4, just trying to look to do some damage, get away with one, no more than that. A second round in for Outsiders. And that is a superb hold coming through from Fame that really set that round up.
And with that 3K as well, he's also managed to usurp his numbers from the previous map. He was at 5 kills over on Inferno, and now he's already at 6. So, again, far better stuff from him individually. Outsiders looking like a much more cohesive unit. The CT side is already off to a better position than when it was over on that Inferno side of things. For G2, they're forced down to the upgrade pistols. No bomb plant this time, so can't continue with the force invests or half invests for that matter. Only one player with Kevlar, very little utility. They'll charge their way forward into the hands of the SMG, and the flashbangs might catch Qikert off guard. That's one back, but so much more to gain.
Norbert taking this duel, aggressive down from the bottom of ramp, even getting wrapped in towards the side. This is actually looking okay for G2. You've managed a couple of picks. The only problem is trying to get that bomb into B.
There wasn't massive lane presence, and it would cross pretty easily. Instead, it walks right into the hands of Flit, who mows both players down. So 3-0 start for the Outsiders side. Getting those pistols and conversions, denying G2's breaks and denying their steals. The AKs will come into play, though. The full guns are in.
Outsiders are currently ranked first in Group B on their city side for highest utility average damage per round. So something that we can definitely expect here from Outsiders is good util usage, those double nades, those incendiaries towards elbow and out to that lane contact. Something that G2 are going to have to be wary of.
Incendiary is thrown down initially towards that elbow position. The nade from Flit sees one player. HE does a little bit of damage, but Norbert, however, opens up with the kill. Straight through the wallbang spray on towards that wood position. NiKo caught off guard and is first man out.
Fame and Co still holding quite an aggressive sightline towards this mid contact. Qikert being spammed up. It seems as if they want to try and regain some of this lane control, try and force Flit a little bit further back of retaking mid too.
Whole position, Qikert's M4 leaning in from Qikert. Flashes forward to try and gain some control back for the CTs. Burst up from Qikert in particular, working in against HooXi. Not able to catch the man for any major damage or a kill. You can see that map control back in the latter minute.
James posted up with the AWP. HooXi thinking about trying to at least take a jiggle in towards that cave position. James has found himself in a very aggressive angle with the AWP, but does get baited and HooXi finds it.
Not ideal there with the AWP shot missing. And HooXi being allowed a double for it. Flit at least finds Hunter back in mid control, so it is even up at a 3-on-3. That bomb, however, is committing towards the B site, and they're just clearing up the back lines if at all possible.
Wonderful double entry coming through from HooXi, really giving them a way in towards this B site now. And even for Norbert, he's got a teammate with him, a Flip, but they're crunched out of the site right now.
Tapping that smoke means that m0NESY could get spammed down, and Norbert almost gets him the same. 21 HP at 21 seconds. That bomb will get planted, and m0NESY's forced to back away, but Fame now in for the backstab. HooXi caught looking the wrong way at the wrong time. Advantage back to the favor of outsiders. m0NESY can't hold on against Norbert's quick peek, and now it's all on JKS. One of the newest additions here for G2 alongside the Dane. Diffuse being tapped and stuck here, body blocked from all sides. JKS will be heard. There's no way he gets to that bomb in time. We'll get Norbert. Flip with the trade. 4-0 start for the outsiders.
What a retake, and it just comes off of the timing. You could see HooXi towards that cave positions, looking out to Cheetah, waiting and waiting, and eventually, as soon as he siphons that area off and focuses his attention back towards long and short, that's when the timing comes through. Fame on that wraparound ends up finding quite a lot of impact, and then just applying so much pressure down there towards ramp. m0NESY's on low HP as it is anyway. JKS has to try and step up in a 1v3, and the bomb's just not really in the open for him. Can't really do much. 4-0 start here for outsiders, very promising.
Far more promising than what we saw in the last map. They've already doubled their scoreline, which again I realise is not exactly a very high bar to surpass. But even so, it is far more impressive for outsiders by comparison, and they get themselves together to try and mount up the kind of early game that we hoped and expected out of them. Nades in from Qikert, revealing his position towards NiKo, who won't go for any wall bangs or spam attempts. May do so on the second phase.
Flip being able to find that opener out towards the mid-control. Hunter with the walk forward. NiKo, as the smoke starts to clear, does find the return, though. More damage being applied towards that Cheetah entrance, and G2 can still continue to run down the clock. Now, remember, in their last couple of games against For The Win and MIBR, they've averaged 9 rounds on their T side.
Or swinging potential for Norbert is put back by m0NESY. JKS takes the damage sponge. 4 points of health for him. Might make it an easy kill later. And outsiders have now sandwiched G2 in. No choice but to commit towards the B site or go for a last second rotate. With that bombing cave, though, perfect chance for Fame to deny this whole round. He creeps in slowly, but HooXi's now on the bomb site.
HooXi comes back in, and Fame actually gets dropped. And now the CTs have got to wonder whether they actually go for it or not.
NiKo's down, m0NESY swings, and it's all on the AWP of James. A 1 versus 3. All players on bomb site will not attempt the wall bang this time. He will do so after the bombing itself gets planted. So that's 1 back. But James needs 2 more.
You've got to think, back yourself in this 1v2. A lot of confidence behind him. Both players low HP, might not be commed over.
I walk in, HooXi not revealing. Head turned away from one of the angles he'll have to face into. Perfect crossfire for G2, and James knows it. Falling back. Only had a HE to put to JKS, and at that point focus on Cave and get into the site for the retake, but best to hold on to the AWP, especially with the money being where it is for the outsiders. It is indeed James time as G2 get there first.
You've got Qikert on a double eco status. Everybody else is working with limited funds. You've got to imagine Norbert by himself, Flip by himself, Fame to do as well, and then maybe a single drop over to Qikert. And tactical timeout coming through from G2. And I think they realize this is one of these swing rounds. The economy is really on the ropes here for outsiders. And if we're able to muster up, get a few rounds in a row, we could find ourselves in not only a leading position, but just finding ourselves more confidence on this early T side for them.
I believe it was the first tactical timeout used by G2 in this entire series, if memory serves me correctly. I don't believe they took one over on Inferno. Remember, 2 coming in from outsiders at the start of Inferno. But G2 didn't take 1, so... Their first called in, their moment's respite. Opportunity to outplay outsiders, especially knowing that they've broken the economy state. 2 FAMASs in play for the CTs.
It's the lack of kits, which is going to be the big eye-opener, especially if it gets forced down into a retaking scenario. At least they've got a few incendiaries behind them. A little bit more presence this time around outside of A. They've just left NiKo towards the B doors by himself.
Several players pressing in towards the mid control. Boost up for Jane will be hunting for these individuals. Molotovs and smokes being sent down. Oh, they're going to go for the mid take here, G2. Counter nades are decent, and James all ready for the first contact. No flash against him means that Hunter is as good as gone.
James puts himself in an excellent position. Aggressive on the off angle out from Donut. Deals with the pick and then just falls back. Allows himself to relocate over towards A. JKS has got another player on the other side of the Donut. The flash is good to Fame and repositions him.
I think he had the footstep as well. Not taking his eyes off this position, putting the Molotov up close. Fame's forced to move, nice. And that will lead to the trade. Very smartly played from the Aussie. 4 on 4 as a result. CT's very spread out now.
And now you start thinking for outsiders, is there going to be some mistakes? NiKo actually being spammed. There has been so much out towards that wallbang and out to ramp when it comes to the spam through smokes.
The second time that's happened to NiKo. Different position, sure. In this 4 on 4, it means that outsiders have an advantage in the HP department. Still lacking in the firepower on those 2 FAMASs. The M4 of Flit will be all the way back over towards the mid control. And Qikert will be the solo defender of B. They've gone for the stack to the wrong bomb site.
And JKS is trying to sell the fake over towards A, get that lurk smoke down. James holding a very good angle right now onto JKS.
Might sacrifice himself to sell him on the idea of the A hit, but he's the only player seen, so Norbert thinks there might be something else going on. In fact, all players will start the committing. The bomb's got to commit itself. 16 seconds. Qikert holding out towards Weird. Flash in. Munacy, his back turn. Kill found for Norbert. Qikert can focus on one more player out towards Cave. Norbert can get the double, and it can be a return round for the outsiders.
It comes off the basis of very good positional advantage. You see out towards Wood, there's no molly there at all for G2 to force Qikert out into the open. Even with that first swing from Cave of Monacy, it's not quite being cleared towards that right-hand side. And knowing the fact that James has been able to offer 2 AWP frags towards A, gather that information that it's a lurk, how quick that rotate comes back into the fold, and even Norbert swinging with the FAMAS, just allowing that crossfire to be set.
G2 now feeling the heart of the economy state. Down to Galils on 2 other players. A Deagle out for Monacy. Outsiders. Qikert forced forward. Win that fight against Hooksy. Spray down Hunter as well. Knows that he's out there. That nade will just miss him as Hunter somehow maintains his life, but he's all alone.
I am liking the aggressive approaches from outsiders in the first 30-odd seconds of the round, especially towards Cheetah in the top of ramp, and Fame on the off angle, hearing some of the footsteps towards main.
M4 eyes set. JKS and Munacy caught off. Bomb dropped. JKS with a quick swing back to a trade. The A site is open as a result. The bomb should go down.
And need a little bit of a miracle. Maybe NiKo in the post plant to step up. He's trying to cut rotates off from the bottom of elbow, but no one's rotating in from that angle.
Plant secured. Advantage still for outsiders on this retake. Got kits in play and all. On 2 of the 4 players, admittedly, but still kits regardless. Only need not 1 to go for the defuse. Hunter back behind that big box, and Flit thinks he might still be there. JKS a bit closer to Qikert's angle. Footsteps being made by Norbert. They're forced to flash forward. Flit with the kill. Hunter trades back. Still struggling to get the trades back. Flit will be able to return with a double. And now it's all on NiKo out towards the donut position. Smoked off. Can't get to the bomb. That Molotov's coming in a little bit too late. The same. Kill found on Flit at least. There's a little bit more damage onto the CT forces. But ultimately they walk away with the round.
Strong utility usage coming through from outsiders on that retake. Smoking off Donut really made it difficult there for NiKo, and he's got to hope that there's more distraction and time being wasted on the site that he can either aggress forward of that smoke, try and catch a timing in which it's not being cleared. You can see how quickly JKS is there to fall. Even Hunter trying to waste time behind the big box, gets away with 1, but no more than that. And G2 on the T side having some struggles, and when you think back to again, both of the games against MIBR and For the Win, averaging 9 rounds in the first half on their T side, we can start thinking to ourselves, well, there is definite struggle here today, and it's got to come off the basis of allowing too many opening picks here for the CIR squad.
5 rounds to the good for the Outsiders. Definitely looking far better than any position they held in that last map up. And G2 can understand the struggles a little bit. It is T-side of Ancient after all. And Outsiders in the few maps that they've played have always had dominant CT halves. So this doesn't tell the full story for me. Not just yet here. Nade sent down towards lane. Damage will be sponged by NiKo, but Flit's headshot comes in on m0NESY. Gapping that smoke to Abuse. He doesn't quite look onto NiKo's position for it. Backs away instead, but starts the re-aggression, and this might catch NiKo completely off guard indeed. Flit finds the double, turns around for the triple as well. Is he going to get caught off? No, they back away.
Flit is so much more comfortable and confident here on that second map than he was on the first. Took him a while to even find the first pick. Jane with the orb strafing down towards that cheater position, catches off Hooksy, and now the last couple of players towards mid might get cleaned up by Flit again.
Still wants his triple. Very advanced angle as well. Smoke's ahead of him. He's going to hide in a very awkward position. The Molotov to send back and force them forward. The AWP pulling attention up towards window and lane. Flit just going to wait. And I imagine that as soon as the smoke clears, he just gets a tidy double for a quadra overall. We'll start to fade right about now. Hunter and JKS all get seen. JKS good for the trade. But now essentially an ace clutch to try and hold for him. Backstabs inbound and all. Fame does give up his life. They're giving away 1v1s now. But that bomb's been lost out towards the B doors. So JKS should have no real way into this recovery.
It tries best to isolate the individuals, flash over deep towards lanes, try and smoke off. One of the positions to deal with Jane, walk through the smoke, kick it on the other side, but it's just not going to happen. Time is running low. The best that he could hope for is the pick onto Jane, which doesn't quite come through. 7-1 up onto the board right now for Outsiders, and I think for them, just mentally resetting after that last map and coming into the second has to be spoken about, because this is a fresh, new-look Outsiders team. It's full of confidence. It's on the front foot, searching for opening man advantages, taking map control towards lane and out towards mid. And for G2, there has not been many opportunities at all. We haven't seen much out of m0NESY, haven't seen much out of NiKo, because those were the two guys that were lining it up in the first few rounds of the last map.
You're absolutely right. For me, just the eye test alone speaks to a much better Outsiders squad. I'll come back to that in a second because they're rushing the B side. Norbert and Jame on the defensive line will be able to get 2-3 frags between them. Now Qikert can swing up to the site itself and maintain control against the T side, who have applied the brakes to a certain extent. I've got Hooksy inbound from Cave, and Flit is watching for that position, so I imagine that he probably should get dealt with. Forcing forward the Outsiders. This 5-on-2 is unscathed thus far. But yeah, like I was saying before, like the eye test just speaks a much better, much more coordinated Outsiders. Of course, the numbers you can see on the right side of your screens, that just is far better than anything that anyone was posting up at any point for Outsiders on Inferno. So yeah, that break has done wonders for them. NiKo not doing wonders for Flit, though. At least gets traded back by Norbert, who ends up with a triple as Qikert closes the round. 8-1 for the Outsiders. They've won the CT half. And
G2 know if we give ourselves enough leverage, we'll be able to close it down in the second half. We'll go over to a more comfortable side. We know that against Forza and against Cloud9 and some previous officials for Outsiders the last 3 months, we have seen massive limitations on their T side. I don't think we saw it in great detail against FaZe, and you wonder whether short-time preparation has been applied here for Outsiders, because one of the things that we were talking about very early on is, yes, it's a 16-5 result against FaZe, but we also haven't seen the map being played very much in the last 2 months before that. So now you've got the idea against the best team in the world that they've been able to do that, and they're up 8-1 against a G2 side that absolutely battered them on the first map. Maybe Ancient is the secret weapon for Outsiders to kind of have in their veto.
Well, perhaps it was. Obviously, we were saying we don't give much credit to that FaZe result because it was just kind of a bit of a wild one and a one-off. If they repeat against G2, though, that would be two of the strongest teams in this group that Outsiders would have beaten on this map. So maybe there is some credit to it. 16-5 as well against that FaZe side. And again, I don't think this first half will tell the full story of how this map will go, but they're on track to repeat performance here. AKs, AWPs out of standard. Orpin, but James Flit taking that mid contact against one individual. And the AWP and m0NESY boosted up to try to look towards the B site. It's in mid where Hunter is the first casualty.
Flit keeps getting these opening picks towards mid. Anytime he gets aggressive, now it's actually a full-on Exy over towards B, a run-up from Rab, a lot of damage being done towards Norbert now.
2 players tagged, but no man dead here for the Outsiders. Sprays back, trying to attempt the wall bangs from Norbert's position. The nades return damage on the JKS and NiKo at 11 and 48 HP respectively. Hooksy finally chimes in on one player. Qikert will fall, 4 on 4. Norba leaning in. It's going to be a very quick retake attempt. Have got Fame up close and personal as one thing comes in. Fame can return fire. A 3 versus 3.
Flit doesn't know where to look. Players aren't really swinging out wide. Deals with JKS, but the turnaround is there for the AWP. And now Fame's the last one left. Coming up from ramp, they know exactly where he is. Time is down low, and he's just going to fall off. Realizes does not have the time to work with that 1v2 clutch, and G2 find their second. I like the reaction. You lose the pick towards mid of Flit. You go, okay, rather than slowing it down like we have previously, let's act, and act now. The protocol is send it into B. You put the molly down towards that cave position. You start taking the long control, and then even Hooksy towards ramp was really the defining factor in that round.
G2 will try and make some room back here. 6 to the good. Outsiders lead is extended overall, though, and the economy lesser so. Again, limited weapons in this case. Only one defuse kit for Fame. The problem if he tries to play entry. JKS forced forward in the nades. The incendiary sent back down. They're burning quite a lot of damage on him, and Hunter could see some early casualties again from the T side in this position. Edge of the smoke. Fame sees one, unawares of the second player. Hunter can get the trade, and Flit will not try and frag back, continuing to play secretive, but might concede candles.
Finally, some success coming through from mid, something that G2 have really struggled with. Yeah, Flit's still alive, but it's that 1-for-1. Get m0NESY in for an AWP duel.
Might just win it as well. James can't get better numbers, but m0NESY has another chance to use that AWP, so it's yet to be seen between those two individuals. NiKo, however, finding Norbert again towards the lane entrance. m0NESY backs away, doesn't go for that fight.
Wonderful patience coming through from NiKo. You could see the way that G2 are really attering around towards that mid control. They've got Hunter aggressive in towards Candles. NiKo's just playing a little bit more on the back foot, waiting for aggression to come through from ramp. Flit finds the trade and deals with the AWP too. Quickly
catching him. The AWP couldn't fire while running. It's caught off guard and out siphoning the last two players from G2 off from each other. Hooksy in main, NiKo back at lane. NiKo will try act out here, but 22 HP for him. It should be an easy enough kill or a trade later for the outsiders. Leave Hooksy, the IGL, alone to try clutch this round ostensibly. 30 seconds, and NiKo will just try pull distraction. See whether Hooksy can get that bomb down.
He's got to get a fight, really. At least engage into one, even if he doesn't win it. Try and draw that rotation back over towards B. Qikert drops him, but still look at the AWP, holding for James. That's really well done there from the outsiders. And Flit, he's been impressive. You look back at that last map, we were kind of hyping him up. He's been one of the highest rated players in the events. He's one of their strongest players overall. On Inferno, didn't see much out of him, but right now on Ancient, the impact that he is finding is just magnificent.
16 kills, 115 ADR. Can't complain with those. That's just the surface stats. Sure, if we delved in a little bit deeper, we'd find some other interesting tidbits for his own performance, but they don't really need to see that much here. He's been finding the kills, and that's what's important for the outsiders at this moment in time to extend their lead even further. See pistols brought out. Hooksy immediately into the A site. Dealt with. Qikert gets 2 in towards mid. It's a 5-on-2 for the outsiders.
m0NESY, Hunter, just trying to see if there's any overextensions, any CTs that are still holding aggressively down here towards the bottom of elbow. And Flit thinking about the last couple of kills, just clean them up, make sure that this eco finds nothing. And so far, there hasn't really even been much damage done. 10 double-digit rounds up on the board now for outsiders. And this is where you start looking at a position which is unreachable of the comeback. Whether it's Ancient or whether it's City side or not, scorelines are a massive difference. And for outsiders, they are getting so close to 16, even in this first half, that they could just close this down. They could just allow themselves to almost repeat what happened on map 1 against them.
I mean, at this stage, it looks like that's going to be the likelihood here for the outsiders. And again, we lost faith off the back of that last map, and I said nothing short of complete role reversal would be good enough for the CIS team. That's what we've seen so far here. I don't think, again, it'll be the complete end of the G2 squad, but if Qikert keeps playing with confidence like that, if Fame can keep finding these insertions in towards main, getting the bomb to drop, another 5v2 game by the outsiders, G2 get one back, but they've been reduced so much, and now the bomb's been seen. Flit's going to cut them off. This round is over. Outsiders, they keep playing like this, and it might already be over.
Incredible to think that Qikert finds 2 there. The spacing a little bit wide for G2, not in a position to trade out at all, standing in a molly, still peeking out wide and connecting onto damage. Flit's hearing that bomb being picked up. This is a round-winning play.
Well, honestly slowed down for the AWP scope though. Utility in hand. That's an execution shot. Flit took his time and it paid off for him. Hunter, 3 kills in this map to go hunting for a clutch. A 1v4 clutch. It just seems so far out of the realms of possibility that I want to say save, but he's got 50 bucks. And G2 don't really have a buy in the next round. They might just go for the half invest and invest back into round 15 to try and get something out of this. Mean at best a 12-3 scoreline at this stage, and Hunter will get caught off anyway, so no options to save anymore. 11-2. So different. So different to how Inferno went down.
And the issue there is, where does he save? You've already found yourself into such an advanced position, moving further from A and in towards CT spawn, that eventually there is just going to be no cover. There's going to be no way you're going to be able to save without the risk of falling after time. Outsiders have turned this around completely, and for G2, I am a little bit more surprised we haven't seen more tacticals. I know that they've used a few already, but surely it'd be using all of them at this point.
I think they've used 3 out of their 4, actually, mate. Like they've sort of been going remiss because they haven't been finding much impact at all here for the G2 side, and you can see why. Again, Flit forcing forward in mid, again getting the double. Does get a trade and give an AK back to m0NESY here. Will that be the difference maker for G2, though?
Ooh, NiKo out towards ramp has given themselves a little bit of a spice, and there's actually a sandwich involved. HooXi's getting slightly more aggressive towards Cave with the distraction.
Qikert is not going to see contact. HooXi actually dives back into the box corner. Get those weapons out of the way. Make sure the T's can't get them back on the site. Kit dropped on the site as well if they need it. I think all 3 players have kits though, so I think we're fine. Where do they go from here? The bomb is making its move into the B play. The smoke and a Molotov will indicate the execution. Smoke out towards short, Molotov on long. And the bomb should make its way in.
James just needs to find this instant connection. As soon as he drops the bomb, the round is over.
m0NESY's AK though. Will he hit a Waldy? NiKo might be forced to do so. Both players peek and James will get tagged up. NiKo, similar story. Bomb can go down. The incendiary with a nade combination. m0NESY gets out of the way. Alive, but only for a moment. Qikert will catch him in his claws. Now HooXi and NiKo to try and hold off against the retake. The teaser, or the CTs rather, are already in the bomb site. Tapping that bomb once, trying to force them out into the open. Spam away. NiKo's Deagle also gets some wallbang damage, but damage itself, no kills found. Try to look for that AK in the mid control. Save it into the next one. I don't think he can get towards it, so just the bomb plant bonus money for the final buy of the half.
Outsiders outclassing in that round. You think about the way that the AWP is posted on the angle. Yeah, G2 try and peek together, but think about the nades. They've got a 3v3. They hear the bomb going down. It's incendiary towards default. It's HE2. It's Qikert getting very aggressive. m0NESY just gets forced out into the open, but then there's also a smoke down towards Cave. You've got HooXi relocated out to ramp. NiKo trapped behind it. Nothing that's presenting itself on the post plan at all.
Nades on HooXi. Flick still catches the kill. Half blinded, but through the smoke gets that headshot before it bloomed. And continues to face forward aggressive, and none awares of the player in candles, which might become a problem if JKS can find a pick back. Well, NiKo can instead. Norbert dead on the B site, 4-on-4.
NiKo with his entries towards ramp has been fairly successful. Now, JKS has been able to get in towards candles. We saw Hunter in a similar position previously. Fame is still watching. JKS has got to catch the right timing on this.
AK swing, the spray through, turns into the favor of G2. m0NESY now in towards mid, catching Flick completely off guard, looking the wrong way at the wrong time. And G2 dismantled Outsiders for the final time in this half, it looks like. 4-on-2 situation. For Qikert and James, it seems unrecoverable.
The Qikert's just got to try and take a contact, force a duel out, and then get a smoke down, try and waste the time. But with them being so separated off one another, it does look very unwinnable at this point. Hunter getting that molly out towards a long position, just making sure there's no way that Qikert can get involved into the side.
Nades on, AK watching, m0NESY's back was turned, footsteps heard, the spray through for NiKo does so much damage, but the kill shot is not found. It's James AWP with no real reason to save, no opportunity to do so. Got to go in for this retake here, but given the 4 players he's up against, it seems unlikely.
James going to try and do his best, but his best is only going to be that 3-12 at the half for G2. Is it recoverable? We'll find out after the break.
From the back roads to back streets, I see you foes trying to trap me, but I don't run like a track meet, even though I'm #1 like an athlete. And the way I maneuver around you and through you, I'm coming and I'm bound to pursue you. I'm everything that you knew of, plus more. What's in store is I'm about to get to ya. Sleepless nights, better think this twice before you step to me and come and speak with strife. There's a lesson when you reach my life. It'll be chin checking and I'll teach you right. Plenty tried, plenty failed. Too many times I seen plenty bail. And there will be no surprise what I'm about to do when you are looking through my eyes.
It has been 7 months to the day of when Outsiders are able to get a 14-1 half against Movistar Riders in ESL Challenger February. But today, Jay, it is 13 rounds and it is against G2. This has been an incredible start from them.
To bring everything full circle as well. Remember, that's the event that got them into Pro League in the first place. Now to repeat. Let's see whether or not it repeats right now. 12-3, as you mentioned, a very dominant half from Outsiders thus far. Will it turn into a closing few rounds on the T side is the big question. One better from the G2 side in the last map in the first half. Outsiders slowing this whole pacing down for the A hit.
Nice stack for G2, 3 out towards the A site right now, and a slight bait and switch setup. A lot of attention's going to get drawn away from m0NESY's position towards a backup plat.
JKS will play first contact. m0NESY will just be the backup dancer alongside Hunter with the crossfire. They both, one player gets smoked off at the very least. Hunter will wait, and m0NESY now sees contact. Headshot swings on a second man, turns it into a 2-for-1 trade, makes it a triple with the headshots found. Flit gives up the 4K as JKS gets the last. It's the first round on the board of this half for G2.
We saw that G2 did a lot of distraction in that round, and Outsiders were feeling as if they didn't quite a lot right. You got the smoke down there towards the donut position, smoke towards CT spawn, you've got the molly that forces JKS out into the open. Okay, we really need to take one fight towards donut, we'll get the bomb plant in, we'll play out the post plant, but it's m0NESY. It's that unchecked position towards a backup plat that G2 were really thriving to pull the attention away from.
It's an all-important start for the CT side. SMGs of Hunter straight in. Damage being done to Norbert in a small amount. NiKo picks up the kill. m0NESY expects that boost and everything. Gets Flit. So easy pickings for these rifles against these pistols. Of course, no bomb plant bonus for the Outsiders. So see them build up towards the buyback into round 18. No false invest. No major issues. G2 should get to 5 here.
Just clearing up this anti-eco. Trying to make it as expensive as possible. Make sure that none of the players themselves drop, because that's the last thing that they'd want.
Up on the rifles, the Julius can take fate for NiKo. Still win the fights. Hunter will get the SMG on the quick backward shot. So all's well that ends well for G2 in that round. Guns out for the Outsiders. The first gun round of the half of them. AK is in on 3 individuals. The Galil's on 2 others, going for the utility for Qikert and Fame. Now looking to try and lock things down from here. This will be their first chance to start to get on victory row.
And when we think about this current lead and this current storyline for Outsiders, the fact that G2 have got a 5-map winning streak of Ancient, only one of those maps have they actually given more than 12 rounds to an opponent.
Default setting for NiKo here. Thought he was going to wrap that corner and try to go hyper-aggressive against the Outsiders. Probably ill-advised to do so. Holds Cheater in for the time being as Norbert is jump facing for information, hoping to get a kill on somebody. Flashbang in, Hooksy, perfect timing, perfect shot for the perfect kill. Starts things off perfectly for G2.
And now can think about slowing it down, get a smoke out towards ramp, make sure that there's no walk up or double pump to go in towards B. Instead, Outsiders wanting to take a little bit further control to the top of lane, out to mid. I like the way that G2 have actually forced NiKo so much more defensive. You don't need to hold as aggressively with the man advantage in that situation. And knowing that this is a bonus round, this could lead to so much more.
Smokes come down for NiKo. Qikert engaging upon the man. As Flit finds the flick on Munacy, out towards Donut. Now got to deal with JKS on the backside. Hooksy with one decent trade, but Flit turns it into a double before Hunter brings it back to a 2-on-2 instead.
It's all about the timing, though. James is starting to walk out, and the SMG doesn't know he's come into the site. James needs to look towards the right-hand side, and Hunter gets dropped. All the pressure now on NiKo.
Yeah, perfect frag, perfect adjustment. A lot of perfect things coming out from the CT and T sides in this round. Look at James facing even further forward. NiKo is for Mars. Up close and personal at point blank, and James detects him first. Just poking through the smoke of that one. The shot connects, and it will be 13. Outsiders with their first in this half.
G2 will be very miffed at that when you think about how much success got granted off that flash setup over towards ramp. One thing that G2 have been very strong for is their flash assist per round, currently first in the group on the City side. And we don't know how many more rounds of excellency with the util we'll be able to see when you think the Outsiders have only got 3 more to go. Mach 10 in for Norbert. There's a lack ahead Kevlar too.
Look at Flit, straight in, flashes over, engages upon one. But Hunter catches him in that jump and he can't stabilize the shot on the T side line, so a 5-on-4. Again, J2 have started off this round.
Got to think about what is going to be the follow-up now. Hooksy over towards ramp, going to get flashed in again. James turned away and now might have the upper hand.
You saw the gun barrel, sees the man most certainly. I think Hooksy saw him as well. So neither player gets the kill. James forced to back away, has the minion over the bomb. Be aware about where he goes down. Needs to grab that and commit it to a site. Meanwhile, Fame inserting into the offensive. Up at Candles. Hoping that the CTs extend to him.
Slight exploitation with map control right now that's being gained. Boost up on top of the back box and cave. NiKo getting a height advantage and playing around with Monacy close by him.
Backstab setup on this B site if they continue to commit Fame forward, but they're being suppressed by this utility, and Norbert and Qikert come up with kills. Munacy trades it back straight through the smoke for Norbert's part. Started off this round, and James now here's the quick gun swap for Munacy. Meanwhile, look out towards mid. Fame's pressing forward, and Hunter's going to get caught in the back line. They just have to get Munacy, and this B site would have fallen entirely. Fame's going to cut rotations. That bomb's got to commit, but he's going to wait for the counter backstab. 30 seconds here.
James wants to really run down the clock. Even JKS knows that Candles is still being exploited. It's all about this kill onto the bomb carrier and the timing of the peek forward.
Fame will start to check positions. Adjustment's not there. JKS brings it back to evens. A 2-on-2 situation. And now the bomb's got to commit, but Munacy is watching for it. 10 seconds. James to go for the plant. His shadow seen. The wallbang's attempted. They forced it out. Norman's got to provide covering fire, but Munacy doing all that he can to suppress this situation. The retake is on. James is low, but JKS and Munacy also tagged themselves. Doesn't stop them from getting the kills. All to James now. 11 frags in this map so far. And the bomb in the open, hearing where Munacy is. The jump face and the back away to passive positions.
Wants to try and play the time. And for G2, they've got util. They could just smoke off this ramp position, make James have to spam.
Flash in, smoke down to one side. Time running short, a re-smoke onto the ramp position. James got a swing. 10 seconds to the defuse, and JKS lands it through the smoke. But have they got on the bomb in time? I think they have. I believe they have. It's a 6th round for G2.
Oh, pressure really on in that round. And Monacy, the young man, played that to absolute perfection. Didn't overpeak, didn't get caught into the trap, because you could see what James trying to offer up there. He's playing in the cubby corner on the wallbang spam, just outside of the bottom angle of lane. He wants Monacy to get aggressive. Look over towards ramp, try and catch him in the open, give the man advantage. He just plays it really silently. Runs down the clock, forces the mistake. The spam with the shadow works out well. Yes, Outsiders get the bomb plant in, but they don't win the round. G2 now have to really try and get a streak going for themselves.
Within 7 of the Outsiders' lead. And a very important round of their campaign. Outsiders could have shut this whole thing down with that post plant. Smoke set up as Norbert leans in, sees one player, engage again, to go right. Qikert tagged up for it. Munacy catches Norbert pretty effectively and smokes back the back of the site. James looking for the headshot, can't get it. At least Munacy falls in trade to a nade, but NiKo responding through the smoke, through a wallbang. Fame should get caught back here towards ramp, and G2 look to lock out the defensive for the most part. Eventually, Fame will drop towards the SMG of Hunter, and now it's all on Flit in a clutch.
He's trying to get ahead of that smoke, but just not to be. Bomb dropped out in the open means that for Flit, he has the time to try and stall. Does not have the teammates around him, though. 1v3 dry. NiKo on the other side of the smoke.
Spray's blinded. 45 seconds, and flips dead to rights. NiKo, great kill. Double up for him. G2 close the gap ever more. 7-13, the outsiders. Again, we mentioned before that the possibilities of the CT side getting spooled up were there for the G2 side. I think we kind of had it written off by the 12-3 scoreline, though. Maybe it's lesser so. Guns in, of course, the pistols are out for the outsiders, so this should be a formality round.
Yeah, outsiders still have a lot of leverage just because of the lead, and it means that it's going to be any of these given rounds, whether it's a half-buy, whether it's a rifle that could turn the tides. Quick play towards A. JKS is hearing the footsteps, but look how quickly they get overwhelmed.
Quick taps on, kill getting found. Norbert grabs that AK and should get the bomb plant on the A side. Again, they've left it to B back there towards main. Meanwhile, James strikes out against NiKo. 5-on-3 that could throw the whole round on his head, because now the bomb can rotate to a pretty open B bomb site. Haven't gained it entirely here for James. They've drawn the rotations away from the A site.
And now G2 are going to start second-guessing themselves. A site's been exploited open, so has B. Hooksy's rotated back out to the long position, but outsiders seem like they want to really slow this round down and force info plays from G2, which is exactly what Modesty's being baited into.
And out towards the donut position. Tech9 is watching for a rotate. Is he ready for fame? Yes, he is. Quick adjustment there for the shot back, and now they're leaning towards the B play where there are a couple CTs. One inbound from mid could cut the rotations and try to siphon them off here towards lane. Hunter has now been seen, and Hooksy holds the bat line. Oh, Hunter has no idea. Doesn't check the corner. Perfect tap to the back of the head, and now this becomes doable here for the outsiders.
Everything is in their control. They've got rifles to be picked up. Smoke goes down towards ramp. This is pretty much it. I think G2 have got to back off here.
They are still holding around the entryways. James pushing a corner. Hooksy flash forward, and James gets the headshot. All the Modesty now. 1-on-4, getting the first, but no more. Fantastic eco steal there for the outsiders. 14-7, and they're 2 away from the win.
And this is what I'm talking about, Jay. No matter how much lack of success is being found, how many rounds not in a row is going your way, all it's going to take is one. With that sort of scoreline, that's going to change everything. You've got a few players on double eco status. G2 are going to force it down. And for outsiders, they know to themselves, we win this round, we win the map. That's it. We're going to a third as long as we win this one right here.
Decimate the economy state. Leave nothing at all for the G2 squad. 14-7. 2 to go. 7 to make up on the opposing side. Tactical taken, of course, as you mentioned, to discuss their circumstances, to figure it out for the outsiders. Still 1 left in the back pockets of G2. I don't know if they use it, let alone when they use it. Got plenty of time, but a lot of room to make up, and very little breathing room to do so. Only 2 rifles into round 22.
2 rounds until outsiders can break the streaks of map wins in a row here for G2 in the group stage. 9-0, perhaps 9-1. James putting early pressure down towards this elbow position. Couple of players out in mid and 3 on B, meaning no A-site player right now.
Letting James setting ready, flash forward. James out, sprays down Hunter to 74 HP. So not a massive amount of damage being done there. The nades on Modesty do similar amounts the same. No casualties taken. Qikert. Here's these players walking forward. The taps of the 5-7s. The deagle of NiKo also trying to trade blows back through these smokes. Completely blinded at their own factor. It's getting away with that damage on James, nothing more.
It might have to be a little bit gambly for G2 in this round. A slight gamble stack, allowing a more aggressive setup involved. You've got 2 on B as the rotate goes back into candles, and Norbert's thinking about taking some space on a walk contact at ramp.
Nice kill for Norbert. JKS, first to fall. Molotov sent in towards Cheetah. We hear the tag against NiKo. Does he think he's fallen back? His back is certainly turned, but NiKo will not swing out towards lane. Instead, towards window side, as Hooksy now presses the issue.
Gotta get at least one out of this one. NiKo not quite getting that kill with the dig and now being tagged up. Hooksy at least finds one with a 5-7.
Rifle right in front of him, so tantalizing, but needs to land a frag on Qikert. Now it's 4v3, making it 2, and G2 could steal onto outsiders like outsiders stolen onto G2. But a backstab inbound from Flit could prove to be pivotal. James got to stay alive at 11 HP, though. That's going to be borderline impossible. 18 seconds, Flit providing some mid support, getting Hunter, but now needs to find NiKo. This Deagle's so ready to deal with the bomb carrier, and that will seal the deal on this round.
Just when they thought there was a window of opportunity, that quick wraparound in towards A with the pick down towards the bottom of mid, it's a lack of information. They knew that NiKo was up there from window, thought that he may be repositioned, and instead he's the one that really capitalizes on top. 8 on the board now for G2, and for Outsiders, there's still a lot of control. Yes, there's only 2 rounds gained on this T side so far, but it's the 6-round lead. It's the 2 rounds they need to close it down and send it to a 3rd.
And they got the guns back in on the force up for the Outsiders. Only 3 weapons with 2 pistols. Quickly they make their way in towards the mid control, towards the donut position. Defensive line out for the CT forces. Outsiders smoking and flashing their way into their default angles, but far more suppressed than they've ever been before.
Spam getting closer to some of those connections, especially on the walkout from Qikert down there at the bottom of lane. G2 have to try and keep these AKs in play for as many rounds in a row as possible. Qikert desperate to even find a pick here.
Spray is blinded past that smoke. Qikert lurking in it. Start to clear as NiKo pulling attention away from m0NESY's position. The Tech-9 does come up with a decent frag here. m0NESY's quick to trade.
JKS being overwhelmed in some of these rounds in the last couple when the AXs are out. Off angle from the back of the big box.
And 4 crept up upon by Norbert. Smoke down towards Donut. Hunter still there. Body blocked it and will be heard, will be known. The spray's through, blinded, but Hunter abuses a gap in that smoke. That body block doing a lot more than just giving away info to the T side, it seems. 3 on 3, the bomb plant is secured.
Hunter trying to get as much out of this as possible, but the over-aggressive duel ends up going the way of Fame, and now it's a mad advantage back. They've seen the boost up to tree, but it still is landed successfully. m0NESY out from Temple gets denied too, and JKS overwhelmed towards A once more. 15 on the board for Outsiders, and the economical reset is so rough.
Steal for steal. 1 eco with 1 force buy with another force buy. 15 to 8. Map point for the Outsiders, and it looks like that first half of the CT half has definitely worked out for them. 7 rounds to overtime for G2, and as you mentioned, the economy is completely crippled. We'll see the 5-7s, we'll see the Deagles, we'll see the FAMAS. We'll also see the quick plays in from the Ts. At least they'll be responded to in kind. Smokes down, flashes in, and G2 not allowed to press the issue here. Maybe Hooksy might be able to wrap that corner, put a smoke up initially, but not look for the kills.
Indicating that they want to take some of this lane control. Instead, it's just an aggressive ramp stance. NiKo and Hooksy with the vertical crossfire. Norbert on the other side.
Wrapped in, Hooksy down, Qikert with the kill. Norbert is dealt with by NiKo's Deagle shot, so that is back to evens again. 4 on 4 situation. Receive the fire coming in. Now Flit's been tagged up pretty heavily, as has Fame in mid. Now we start to look towards another steal round, Dwayne. A 4v4 situation, but G2 could win these fights so easily. And in fact, they find Jame a high HP player.
And there's even a little bit more emphasis over towards A right now for G2. You've got NiKo aggressive down from the bottom of lane by himself. Take a contact and try and stall for time. Once that smoke starts to clear, he might have to back off and get a little bit further passive on B. Outsiders, seems like a safe call. You got Fame low, Flit low as well. It's just not worth it.
Save the guns. All right. CTs won't go hunting either. They've lost, or they haven't got a lot of cash to begin with, and need to bolster the buyback for the comeback, so it makes a lot of sense. And Outsiders have that 7-round buffer. They can take one on the chin and know that it's not over yet. But every time they take a step forward, G2 do some catching up of their own right here. So Outsiders, they're still not out of the woods just yet.
Oh, I don't know about that one, Jay. I think that's stretching it a bit. Outsiders have always been in control right here on Ancient, and they've been able to prove to us that they don't need a rifle round to gain an extra. The stills that we've been talking about of the back and forth nature have been very successful for them. One more round to close it down. And for G2, I think it comes off the basis of not enough rounds in the first half. Even if there has been some further success in the second, when you are working with a 9-round deficit at the turn, it is almost impossible to recover it from that margin.
Well, I reckon there's still a few more rounds left in this game here for G2 at the very least. Outsiders have their guns back in. See G2 try and hold their line. Damage has been done initially to a couple of players in Flit and Norbert. NiKo NiKo set with the incendiary, should counteract the nades coming in from the T side line. Damage taken on the part of G2 here. Similarly dished out over to the outsiders.
NiKo getting close to some of those spam attempts. Flit gonna get domed out towards elbow. That's the lurk being dealt with. They've still got a lot of lane and bottom ramp presence.
A few more one-taps in NiKo, so a number of those out from the last map. A perfect kill in towards that mid phase. That does bring it to a 5-on-4. Advantage G2. Qikert continuing to receive hurt from G2's nades and the further utility placement that they can use. Got one more incendiary left though, so not much more damage output here.
And knowing that that mid lurk was dealt with, now we're seeing outsiders allow a second person to get into that same position of Jame. Keep that attention up towards the top of candles. The bomb is outside of A, which is only giving me the idea that they're going to try and sell a little bit more of a fake towards B and end up splitting A.
Jame walking forward, m0NESY. Made a little bit of noise there in candles. JKS, gap abused. Jame caught looking the wrong way at the right time. Counter flashes, JKS continuing to try and engage and ultimately win that fight. Down low HP, a trade might be available, but the kills keep pouring in for the CTs. Fame responds with one. The A site has seen the bomber can get planted, but he's completely without support.
Norbert coming through from mid. NiKo's going to hear that, so they know if we're able to deal with the side player, we can just get onto the bomb quickly.
Great flash in there from Norbert, stalling for extra time. We've got to deal with these two individuals seeing the shadows and getting away from position here.
Trying to see if he can evade, get out of this donut position. Got to try play with Fame now.
Looking in against m0NESY, got to swing out real quick. Got to get this kill, but m0NESY locks him down all on Fame. 1 versus 3, cannot stabilize the first frag. And G2 hang in there for just a little bit longer.
And we just saw that in that sort of position for Norbert, you're being hunted down from different sides. You know that m0NESY is going to be on rotate from CT, whether it could be Temple or in the cutoff. But knowing that so many players are coming at you quickly from that donut position, you've got to try and get out into the open. And outsiders realize, okay, let's try and take some map control. Let's get aggressive. Let's try and fight onto m0NESY before we set ourselves up for the post plant. Doesn't quite happen. Double digits and a 10th round now for G2. And the buyback for outsiders. We've seen these Tech9s before.
Half-bought pistols, one of the previous round. Outsiders fast play in as well. HooXi is not going to get over on the first kill. Second man in does get the trades back, but m0NESY responds with 2. And now look for the last 2 of the outsiders. NiKo on the site will provide support with the AK sprays. Jame can get that pick to return, but now he's the last man that remains. Nades on the backstab, aware of where Hunter's inbound from. But now got to try and secure this bomb. Has a way out, can go for a rotate to the A site if he can escape towards lane, but he's still got to challenge this man at the back.
Getting that pick onto Hunter is going to be a difficult one. M4 pulled out. Jiggle is fairly decent. Down to 32. Eventually deals with Hunter, but the rotate's quick. JKS is already thinking about moving over to A.
Gone in towards the A entrance rather than to candles. Knife pulled out. Bomb sees him. JKS denies the plant. No round steal for the outsiders. They got relatively close though. 2 players alive for G2. The money won't mean much at this stage. They'll keep buying until they make it to overtime. And they'll close the gap even further. 4 to the good.
Okay, sell it to me, Jay. Sell it to the viewers of this comeback. 4 more rounds. It doesn't seem impossible now.
Well, CT side of Asian, as we've talked about before, and even though outsiders have gained such a ridiculous lead at the turn of the half, that lead has completely closed at this moment. m0NESY is fragging. Got NiKo getting involved in these latest few rounds. Flit to charge forward. Qikert's going to burn to HooXi's Molotov. That's the start that G2 would have wanted here. I think the comeback most certainly is on. Outsiders, I think, might need a tactical to realign themselves. Because the massive buffer that they had between themselves and the G2 deficit has almost completely disappeared. Flit's in the backlines, though. This backstab might mean a lot.
This is a round-winning play right now for Flit. Yeah, they lost that first player Qikert, but this is massive map control on a backstab. And JKS has missed the timing. They have got no idea that this backstab potential is here. Flit's got to try and get a couple of kills if he can.
Norbert's been picked up out towards lane. And the concern now turns into what they can do with the rotations and with this backstab. The bomb's on its way in from main. James listening out for the rotations in from the B site. I think he might have heard footsteps, but they've slowed things down, got completely quiet on the CT basis. Flit's going to burst in wins that all-important fight. Now got to turn on the AWP. James his footsteps. Got to get Hunter. Spray is awkward. Swing back towards NiKo, and NiKo lets him walk no further as m0NESY drops the bomb. It's Flit alone. Top fragger in server, but 19 HP in a 1v4. It's not going to happen.
That's a massive shame, because that is an unreal lurk coming through from Flit. The idea that he's able to get top of candles, into city spawn, out to temple, undetected, it feels like that play is almost a massive negative because it's not successful, but it got shaped up for what looked to be so much more. He gets himself in a position to deal with JKS, but his teammates just not quite being there to be able to trade off one another, to establish those crossfires. And that lurk does not find success. Flit ends up having to save the AK. 12 on the board now for G2. And now you start getting into the idea of not only is it 3 more rounds, but the economy's getting a bit lopsided here.
And there's that tactical used now by the Outsiders, an all-important one. They have lost the plot. They have lost the pacing in several positions in which that last round could have turned on its head and been the Outsiders' favour. Like you mentioned, a round-winning play at that point would have been a game-winning play from Flit. It did not happen. Will at least have his AK for this next round, but is it a hero buy? Looks like it might be. Hero buys didn't find much success on Inferno. G2 now 3 away from equalizing. Of course, have no chance here with the hero weapon, even save from the previous round. But even so, can't count out that statistic. And at map point, Outsiders need something special here.
They need a hero, is really what they need up on the T side. Early nades going down towards that donut position. A lot of aggression out from the B doors. Looking to try and take contact to Cheetah early.
Already Hooksy's found James. Fame on 8 points of health. Mac 10 in for him. Gets smoked off, potentially spray down the wall bang. NiKo's just looking for one good reason to fire away those boxes. Look out towards elbow instead. And that fire will allow Fame to cross. Nothing much more than that. Outsiders giving away as little as possible.
Starting to take back some of this mid control. Now that would have been seen there from Hunter going a little bit further back passive in Donut. And Flit again, we saw what he was able to find from this Candle's position only in the last round.
Very slow and careful. We have got Flit inserted now into Candle's position. Again, potential backstab angles. He's being marked off by NiKo this time. I'll try and rotate to join his teammates for the execution itself. The incendiary is thrown down. And Flit comes here inbound.
Lack of nades for the B-side players. You can see the slight info play. G2 is starting to regress down from Donut. They're going to bring more rotates over towards B now.
See, flashed in to Cave. Sprays a little bit awkward. Gets away with the first man. Flit with a responsive, but m0NESY locks out Fame's position. A 4-on-2 now. Bomb still dropped out towards ramp. Flit's got to make a play. Kicker does get mopped up. And Flit alone on the center of the site. 1 versus 4. Only goes so far as the first man. m0NESY with a double. And it's 13 to the good for G2. Only 2 more rounds left.
And this is where I'd love to see another tactical coming through from Outsiders, because if we are realistic, it's probably going to be this round that closes it. If it ends up going to the next one, it will be a little bit more tough. You've got decent weaponry around you. Knowing the way that the Mac 10 is in here for Qikert is an interesting one, because there's a lot of money. So I wonder, do they even half buy here? That might be what the standard is, knowing that James doesn't have an AWP.
It's 3 tacticals called in now. The buy strat is to go for what seems to be a force-up. Qikert's passing weapons over to Norbert. They're going to commit for round 29 and for round 30. And this comeback is almost being completed here. For G2, it would mean the possibility to regain that 2-0 series that they've been biting for. Lock in for permanency, their first place in this group. Nades down against Norbert and Fame. m0NESY watches with the orb, connects on Qikert, looks around the end of the smoke, almost lines up two, but just gets that one. Norbert with a responsive, a 4-on-4. JKS playing behind the wall of smoke set up by the T-side, finds an angle above it, sprays through on Fame, but Fame wins out the fight. The nade from Hooksy takes it back to evens and does damage to Jame in the back the same. Norbert swings out the edge of the smoke. That Hooksy has found a new angle to play with. 3-on-2 now. G2 have maintained the defensive. Can they maintain it for a bit longer? Not against Jame.
And Jame is finding so much from this big box position, just with distraction being pulled and flit out from A main. They've got so much time to play with. NiKo still wrapping around towards that CT position, and Hooksy, while he was in Donut, is now relocated. He wants to come through from A main.
It's about to check him and does think damage. 11 points of health. That Galil not quite enough to get the frag. And Jame is aware of at least one man. Where's the second one coming in from? NiKo's AK versus Flitz Galil. All-important fight for NiKo to win. It's all Jame now. His time to shine, his time to save. His time nonetheless. He backs off towards CT, holds a very tight angle. Is he going to go all the way back towards Candles, perhaps? I'm not sure what his angle is. The bomb is in the open. Tight position. Sees one, doesn't take the shot, but they've been unawares of where he's at. NiKo on the bomb, shot misses out, damage be's done, needs to swing, and NiKo holds him away as the fuse comes in and they hold 14 down for G2.
Oh my goodness, Jame played that to absolute perfection as well. The fact that he's able to get the bomb down, open for CT, play the long range, really fall back there in CT spawn, and the way that G2 are able to bait him, the jump over, the swing, the idea that the 11 point of health Hooksy gets up onto that bomb, and NiKo's there to be the savior, to get G2 up to 14.
And to think what might have happened had he taken that shot towards Hooksy earlier in the round, brought it to a one-on-one, forced NiKo forward. How different that round could have been, but Jame tried to play the long game and it worked against his favor. Round 30, G2 trying to complete this comeback now. Just got one more to push past it. The bomb plant bonus will assist the T-side, but NiKo is going to take away from Norbert. 39 points of health.
The early spam going down towards that banger position, out to the lane contact. And for outsiders, this is where pressure really starts building. They need another one of those opening man advantages, or players at least baited m0NESY towards that long position, so they've got an idea of where he's playing out from.
Burst throughs, desperate to try and find responsives, trying to follow suit here for the CT side. 60 seconds, a little bit under that for the bomb to rotate up towards main, looking like it's going to be the A play. Smokes and Molly sent down there by Qikert to draw attention as the smoke gets set in and they're on their way.
It's down to JKS and Hunter. This crossfire again.
JKS, the forward man though. The first contact behind that big box. Great counter smoke from Hunter's position. JKS takes an advanced position, gets that burst. It's flashed off blinded, and Hunter lines up two with the HE as well. James Orb frags on one. Hunter gets him right back on for the quadra and taps up the head of Qikert. G2 have done it from the 13-2 deficit to the 15-all. We're going to overtime.
Jay, I think I'm getting a little bit of deja vu. 8 from 15 down, G2 are able to recover it to OT. That is the exact same scoreline that happened in the game against Big. Their third game in the group, they were 8-15 down on their map pick of Vertigo. It went to OT, and the final result, 19-17 their favor.
And to think the idea that Outsiders were up at 12-3 and were saying there's some scorelines that are unrecoverable, well, very clearly that one was not one of them. G2 on their CT side now go on to overtime with one intention to 2-0 the Outsiders and make it a perfect and flawless group stage here in the ESL Pro League. 4 rounds away from doing so. AK is in already inserted out towards Candles as James likes to. Menacey spotted him, takes that one shot, does not get the kill, but neither does he get killed off himself.
Oh, the spam for NiKo is very good. Flit the lurk, the one that did so much damage to them out in that mid-control and regulation, is the first one to be dealt with.
Opening kill of the overtime. Flit down, Qikert tagged. Big frag to take against Flit as well. Still top fragging for the Outsiders, but much like he did in the second half, he has slowed down. Qikert and Jane will try to pick up the paces here towards the cave entrance. Cheetah, one player will be watching from the B-site entrance. Will fall away with some sprays back. Menacey tagged to 42 points of health.
Check out the lack of nades right now for Outsiders. Don't have the smokes or the mollies to really force out a lot of these common positions. This is going to be a difficult B-side take for them. And trying to see if they can edge that AWP a little bit further aggressive, try and punish even further. 30 seconds on the clock. They have to end B. There's no other option.
Smokes and flashes. 25 seconds. The AWP watching. Flash their way forward to try and get into the bomb sites. Perfect against Menacey. He's dead blind. Fame, bomb aggressive. Going to try and hunt for NiKo, and NiKo drops the bomb even deeper. That's with 12 seconds to go. Outsiders will grab it and get the plant down very quickly for Norba, but could be swung upon by Hunter. That's exactly what he does. Lines up against Qikert. A disaster exit from Outsiders. Leaves G2 with the first of OT.
Oh, there we go. And a lead to get gained. Oh, that's got to be such a good feeling. G2, for the first time, getting a lead. And now, how long do they hold on to it? It's going to be the question. Outsiders just burning so much of that util before they went into the B-site Xe. And you can see as soon as that bomb gets dropped the first time from Fame, even when Norbert picks it up, it takes him so long to eventually try and get it planted. The Hunter's already aggressed through that short smoke. It just denies any accountability.
Quick in from the Outsiders again. James. AK. Swinging out towards mid, evaded the one player that went out from Donut. That was Menacey. His AWP rotating to the back lanes. As NiKo looks to aggress upon Jamie. He does not lose these fights. How many times has he won these kind of duels?
He's been sharp. He's been stepping it up big time on that city side towards Cheetah. And now for Outsiders, they're trying to pincer down towards A. Put pressure onto JKS and Hunter again.
Lashes in, JKS swinging the nades. Sent way too deep against JKS, so not a lot of damage being done. Smokes up. Suppressing in that main angle, and the man will press forward even closer. Got Fame and Norbert round at that corner, and will find the pick alongside Hunter dropping. 4-on-3, Outsiders have reclaimed the advantage.
And they've got everything favoring them right now. Menacey trying to get aggressive, has not been smoked off just yet.
Oh, almost adjust towards that lightning fast flick, but Fame finds the frag. NiKo, quick up again, finds the headshot, sees where Norbert is, knows that the bomb is on his back as well. Providing pressure to the left and flashes in from Hooksy.
Backstab.
We'll try to keep the pressure up, you're right about that. Qikert comes in, deals with Hooksy, it's all NiKo. Ace clutch available for him, wins the third fight. Can't adjust towards Norbert, dead out of ammo, somehow wins the quadra, but doesn't get the ace. Qikert still holds the CT spawn, and exposed on NiKo's angle, it's 16 to the board of Outsiders.
And how often do we see this, right? The team that's struggling to close out the map responds in OT. We had Outsiders with 7 chances at 15-8 up to close, to send it to a third map. We get into OT, and while it's not the first round, it's the second. They tie up the scoreline.
That's all important for them. The very rare T-side round coming out from Outsiders, equalizing the board again. G2. How about to face the rush, it seems like. Yeah, straight out towards main. Hunter smokes in before he sees contact and can't see them at the other smoke. Put down towards the CT entrance. It's Norbert. First casualty as Hunter does find his angle in the end. Nades down doing damage, and JKS takes point.
plenty of HGs to work with. This could be great for the retake and for Fame. He's waiting for one of the players to aggress over the top of that donut smoke.
Oh, there's m0NESY with his AWP, fragging back. Qikert responds, tries to keep things manageable, but it's a 4-on-2 for G2 at the moment. Outsiders suppressed on very different fronts. Flit falls, Jame alone to clutch it again. Very few clutches have gone his way. He might find a frag at best. But I believe this round goes the way of G2, especially with m0NESY posted and a lead gained.
I start wondering to myself, though, is one round enough? It actually might be. The fact that we've seen both teams struggle so heavily over on that T side gives you that idea of the clean sheet on that CT basis, the 3-0 potential. For G2, you could talk about momentum. You could talk about the comeback, the drive to really recover things from a very unlikely position. Down 2-12, 3-12. It was looking like it's completely over. Now they go back into the T side to see if they can readjust things, see if they can get some magic in the air again.
Outsiders, as you mentioned, having such a CT basis in this map. Not just for them, but also for the G2 side. Let's see whether one really is enough. The G2 have one in them themselves, maybe two in them. Flashes forward. And Hunter already inserted deep into Candles.
It's being watched, though. Flit is on the other side. Deep himself. 3 on B as of right now for Outsiders. G2 getting a lot of map control towards A.
Leaning in, Flit diving out of dodge. Fame trying to lean forward into the center of the site. The smokes will suppress. Doesn't see m0NESY. I don't know if he popped out there. Looks like he did. I can't quite tell. I don't think Fame can either.
Now out towards the big box. He's got to try and bring Flit into the fold. Both of the A-side players have to really try and strike here, and Flit's actually playing very defensive in the util.
Less than 40 seconds. Fame. Oh, evading HooXi. Looks away at the wrong moment, but still adjusts for the double spray. HooXi and JKS down. And Flit's there to back it up as Fame will drop. Advantage still rests with the Outsiders side, but G2 have an insertion point. Look, a Hunter inbound to catch Qikert. Turn around against Norbert. He finds a double of his own, and m0NESY lands on Flit. They lined up to the back, and Jamie is left in the clutch again.
Oh my goodness, what a round. What a late play coming through from Hunter to catch the CT sleeping off guard as they rotate off a B. And now for Jame, 1v3. Players are down low, but m0NESY's still alive with the AWP.
1-on-3. Such low HP for two players and all. In theory, could find the picks on Hunter and NiKo and turn the AWP battle to m0NESY, but m0NESY's out fragging Jame at the moment, and time's ticked so far. Now he's been seen, tagged up, incendiary, thrown towards main, which could have found NiKo in a donut instead, and either way, the time's ticked too far. No time for the defuse. He'll try his best to bait out shots, but G2 have found map and match points.
One more to close, and 2 chances to do it. Outsiders here on the CT side, I don't think could have asked for a better opportunity. What a hold that was from Fame. You can't blame him in that round, mate. He gets 2 kills. He gets the splitting A players into donut by himself. Yeah, he eventually gets dropped by the nade, but he set themselves up. It was the teammates that unfortunately let him down in that round.
And similarly, how Fame got the round-winning play for Outsiders, Hunter did the same thing that was converted into success for G2 on the contrary. For his trouble, he takes a lot of damage. Look at Norbert storming the Lions and getting put in his place by JKS. Qikert can't recover anything. He's caught by Hunter, and I think we smell the end, Dweg.
It seems that way. Double pick over towards B. So much time left on the clock. A 2-man advantage within the first 20 seconds. But there's a lot of players. And over towards B for Outsiders.
M4 watching. Jame connects on Hunter. A 4v3 situation. G2 hold the advantage. Fame trying to trade, but can't keep hold of anything. NiKo, forward man, gets him. And Jame to rotate his AWP to stand his ground. Connects on JKS. Down with a 13 HP, however. How does he work his way in from this?
He's got to get assistance from Flit. Oh, Jame is thinking about making an aggressive play. Wants to try and deny the bomb if at all possible.
He's firing to the wrong position, though. And now needs Flit support. 100 HP for the M4. 13 for the AWP. The smokes will start to fade. The flashbangs provide a bit extra support, and m0NESY lands on Flit. It's all on Jame now. For what I think is the 4th time or so in this overtime at least. A clutch for him to make happen. Swinging out. caught off by Hooksy with one bullet. It's a 19-16 scoreline for G2. A 2-0 overall in the series as they make it a flat 5-0, 10-0 in maps in the group stage for ESL Pro League.
That might be one of the best comebacks you will see all week. That is incredible. 2-12 down, then 3-12 down. Ancient or not, that is a massive comeback to come through with that sort of difference of rounds. And for G2...